What's up, guys? As you can see, today I'm going over how to maximize internal value. Today the topic is vitality. It's half a joke, maximizing internal value, kind of like maximizing shareholder value in the finance industry, but maximizing your internal value being your health and wellness. So to me, if you have a strong foundation in fitness, you're going to be a lot more likely to succeed in every area of your life. But this is a 7-day tracker that you can use to turn around your life in just that amount of time. 7 days is all you need. Let's get into one day at a time. First, we're going to be tracking 10 different metrics. There we go. All right. Under the vitality matrix, the first subcategory is going to be training, and there we have walk. So I know it sounds simple, but getting out for a walk is going to be key, not only for fat burning, getting your body acclimated to getting some sun. I would say walk. To me, this is specifically outdoor. Am I on a walking pad? Yes. Is it running at the moment? No. I need to lube up my walking pad. Oddly enough, it's starting to rotate and grind on itself. Walk outside, so you can have anywhere from 0 to being not walked, didn't walk at all. A 1 being sure you did a little bit of walking. A 2, sufficient walking but not ideal, or not your best walk. And then 3 being the ideal quality and quantity of walking. So you made the most of your walk. You walked on the beach for a half an hour or something like that. I would say anything over 15 minutes could be good. If you're walking closer to an hour, sure, that could be great. Just make sure that it's going to be uninterrupted walking is going to be ideal. You can kind of get a good gauge for yourself what that walk looks like. If you haven't walked in forever, then 15 minutes might be a 3-point walk for you. I like to walk right at the beginning of the day, normally at least 10 minutes, and if I walk more throughout the day, I'll add to my score from there. But you should have a baseline, so we'll go through what each of these scores 0 to 3 is, what your totals are, how that looks for the week, how that looks for the day, and what you can do to, basically what are some strategies to improve your score, more or less what your vitality matrix is, or your internal value when it comes to health and fitness. Yeah, it depends on the category, but null, 0 is null or not done. So workout is going to be the next step. So to me, this is anything like, it could be a 15-minute workout. It could be a 45-minute workout. For me, I keep all my workouts at around 30 minutes. As of lately, you don't want to overdo it. You just kind of want to get your workout done, not necessarily rush through it, but also don't lollygag between. Just kind of show up, get your workout done, and then move on to what else you have to do for the day and spend time doing those things you love or the work that you need to get done regardless. So as you can see, a 0 is going to be null, 1 is your base, 2 is your building phase, so you're making progress, and then 3 is going to be the peak, which I'll talk about more as we go through. But as you can see, I'm starting to show different I guess numbers or different days. So I'll keep going through and you'll see how it progresses. Oh. If you peaked, you didn't see that. So next up, training. Under training is mobility. So to me, this is going to be key. So whether you're doing under the workout section, lifting weights, some cardio, having fun in the sun in a healthy way, like basketball or doing a boxing workout or playing some pickleball, whatever it is, however you're moving your body that day, give yourself a score. But mobility is also going to be key. So for me, that looks like doing a stretching routine, doing some yoga, doing myofascial release. So things like foam rolling, massage gun, lacrosse ball, getting the knots out of your body to improve your flexibility, mobility, etc. So normally I would say anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes plus. I think 30 minutes is plenty, but to each their own. If you have more time, that's great. If not, I understand. Or, if you want to fit it in around your workout and you have time to do that, I would recommend a dynamic stretch to warm up. So what that means is moving your body while stretching the muscles out, whether that's like walking, the Frankensteins, or, lunge and twist. And then after the workout is going to be more of your static stretching. So what that looks like is touch your toes, stand in one spot, do that for 30 to 60 seconds, and take a break or do it again, etc. So that's what that looks like. Mobility, find a way that works for you. Be honest with all of these scores. If your walk was minimal, then give yourself a 1. If you didn't do anything at all when it comes to mobility or working out or walking, you got a 0. You're sitting up here on what I believe would be like a Monday example. This Monday example, as you can see, I have 7 days and then your weekly KPIs. So what does that look like? If you followed this, you got a weekly KPI of 7 for walking, and then what you can do is stack this into the next week. So basically just take this cell equals Monday plus 7, and you can continue on, do that for 7 days, get your weekly KPIs compared to last week, and then see how you progress. That's only in the training category. If that's all you want to focus on, that's cool, but realistically you're going to need these other sections to see progress at the end of the day, whether that's with whatever your goal is when it comes to fitness, right? Because you need nutrition, or at least an idea of it, to improve. So here I have nutrition as a subcategory, and then quality under that. So quality of your nutrition, how much single ingredient whole foods did you have? Did you cook your food yourself, or was it cooked in a whole bunch of oil and stuff like that at a restaurant, etc.? I don't think I need to harp on this too much. It's going to be key. It's going to help you determining how you feel. And I would also add so quality is going to be, did you eat high quality ingredients, and also the diversity of them, were they high quality as well, and did you eat more than just red meat that day, or did you eat very high quality red meat and some potatoes and some honey and some fruit, etc. I think truly just focusing on the quality of the ingredients is going to be key here. Quantity, so not how many different ingredients did you have, but was the quantity in terms of calories and macros, if you're tracking macros, ideal? Or was it, what do we have, null? Was it at a base level? Do you have an understanding of it? Did you cover your bases? Did you get enough protein? Stuff like that. And then, are you building? So did you hit your protein goal? Did you stay under your calories? Something like that. Depends if you're bulking or cutting, or if you're prioritizing for your work or prioritizing for a competition, etc. So quantity to me is basically like calories. And yeah, I guess the peak of that is going to be for the quantity metric is you ate, for me it's basically like I ate enough protein, I ate pretty close to my fat and carb ratio that I need in terms of macros, and I was just under my calories because I'm in a caloric deficit while still trying to maintain muscle and have great hormone health and mentally, emotionally do all well because of my nutrition. And the third aspect I have here, as you can see, number 2, build is showing now. I have hydration. So hydration, not only is it just drinking a whole lot of water, but drinking, and I'm not huge on drink your electrolytes and stuff. Sure, that's cool. But to me, I just go salt and ideally lemon or something like that. And another aspect that is correlated with hydration is actually things like potassium. So eat some dates, some bananas, etc. But hydration for me truly is just water. I drink caffeine almost every day, and a decent amount of it, not an egregious amount, but a decent amount. So I try to, and I'm also working out every day in some capacity. As you can see, I have workout here. If it's a 0, it's a 0, but typically I try to get at least, I aim for a 3. If it's not a 3, then understandable, but get a workout in. And yeah, I am sweating a good amount, so I need to replace the salt that is in the sweat of my body and continue replacing the things that I sweat out, etc., and cleanse my body with proper hydration. I'm not a big Gatorade for hydration guy. I don't know the last time I've had one of those, but truly just water. To me, I drink, reverse osmosis filtered water, because if you ever seen what tap water looks like the pipes that your tap water is flowing through, I don't think you'd be drinking it much longer. With that said, we'll move on to the third section. We do have 3 primary sections and then 1 bonus. So let's see if this keeps revealing in the way that I would have hoped. Awesome. All right. So Vitality, again, the overarching metric or topic, and then our categories or subcategories, however I want to break it up. Recovery. So we have training, nutrition, and recovery. Number one, the primary aspect of recovery, some might say, is sleep. So did you get a high quality and quantity of sleep? Not only do you feel well rested, did it happen at a time that is, basically, are you matching your circadian rhythms, or are you falling asleep at a time that's, say 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. around there each day, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. each day? Is it around there? That's probably worth 1 point. Did you go to sleep after watching scary movies and eating ice cream and drinking alcohol? That's probably not going to earn you the second point. But if you went to bed after reading and writing or just chatting with, if you limited your screen time, let's say, limited your food and beverage consumption before bed, I think you're in a pretty good spot. If you prep for bed with like a hot shower and something to relax, then I think you're in a good spot. That would probably earn you a second point. And then, so to me, that's like the quality metrics, right? The quality of your sleep, which is also a lot, in my opinion, still a lot more important than getting 8 hours. Like if I had 6 good hours, I'm good to go, maybe even less. But I wouldn't do that every night. And then the third metric is probably how long did you sleep? Again, similar to a lot of these things, like I'm not going to give myself a 3 on workout if I ran. I guess I probably, yeah. You don't want to overdo these things. Let's just say that. To me, if you're overdoing something, I think there's a good example as we show the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, this example. It's not that date yet. These aren't accurate. I did more than nothing on Monday. If you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, you're basically sitting, those threes where you're giving a whole lot of maximal effort, they don't necessarily make up for the ones that you have. So I think it's important to raise your baseline. To me, if you have a 3 one day and then like a 1 or a 0, like if you do a whole lot one day and then nothing the next day, your score isn't going to be that good. So what this is optimizing for is building healthy habits day to day. It's not saying, go and run 100 miles one day and then take the whole next week off. Not only is that wrecking your hormones, that's just not healthy in my opinion. And same goes for eating. You shouldn't just eat healthy. Some days you should try your best each day. Sure, give yourself some leeway, but you can also find joy and purpose in trying to be your best. And that's what this is aiming for. It does allow for some leeway though, as you will see behind my big old head. So after sleep, let's go ahead and reveal the next topic or category or subcategory. I should have decided what to call those before. Regardless, as you can see, number 3, peak is showing. So you get 0 points, 1 for base, 2 build, 3 peak. Moving on, under recovery, the second thing there is sunlight. So what does sunlight do for recovery? You would be amazed. Believe me, sunlight is, as some might say, anabolic. It helps kind of like a steroid would, a natural steroid. Not only is it going to boost your mood, in my case, with my complexion, make me look better, look more tan, but it's also going to help you recover, decompress, lower your stress, etc., especially if you're grounding outside while you're getting that sunlight. Same thing with your walks. But sunlight is going to be key for recovery. Also, you can kind of couple this in with your walking, or like today, so this morning I got a walk in with a little bit of sunlight. The sun was coming up, so I saw the sunrise, which is good. So probably worth 1 sunlight point there. I was outside. I think I'm at 2 points now because I worked out in the sun. So that's going to be point number 2. And, with my shirt off and just shorts and running shoes. And then number 3 is probably going to be this evening when I go for another walk or do my mobility while the sun is coming down. So getting that sunlight third time in those ideal phases of the sun. First, sunrise. Second, being what they call sunrise noon, or like basically where the sun is at its peak. And 3, during when the sun is coming down, because the one helps you to wake up naturally and reset your circadian rhythm if it's off. The second one is where you get the optimal amount of vitamin D. Obviously be safe. Don't sit out there with no, under no shade or that sort of thing. When the sun is at its peak and UV is super high for a long time, like go out there for a little bit of time. I would say I'm not a big fan of natural or unnatural sunscreens because I know that they have various studies that they're causing cancer and stuff like that. So I use some natural ones that have like beef tallow, coconut oil, and zinc. Sunglasses can be great depending if they actually have a use. I know that if you're looking, or your body is going to limit the production, or you're more likely to burn and I believe get cancers if you're using sunglasses, because your eyes are the things that adjust your body to adapt to the sun. And I think that's it on that. I have more to say, but I'll keep it brief there. So getting that sunlight is going to be important. And then we have this next topic and then our bonus, and I'll talk more about how it all comes together. So under recovery, there is passive just meaning passive recovery. So active recovery is going to be more of your walking, your low intensity steady state cardio, your mobility efforts. So that's like stretching, foam rolling, etc. So passive is going to be stuff like, what is this? Cupping. So cupping is a good idea. Getting a massage where you're not, doing this to yourself with a foam roller, but you're getting a massage, working through those knots. Using a sauna, steam room, an ice bath, things like that. I guess cold showers could be categorized under this, but yeah, that's that. I don't want to go too deep into it. If you know other methods like a Shakti mat, stuff like that, which is more like acupuncture, that can be helpful as well. So where do you fall on those? And yeah, I would also categorize things like breath work and meditation under there, simply because you're not always going to have access to a sauna or you're not going to get a massage every single day. Sure, you could use cupping, but to me that's a bit excessive, doing it every day. So doing things that, and why would I categorize those under here? Because they help to lower your inflammation, lower your stress. Even simply going outside and grounding could be identified under passive, because you're not actively moving your body. And things like grounding, sunlight, meditation, breath work, they all lower your stress levels, lower the inflammation in your body, which helps you to recover faster and in a better way. All right, moving on to the bonus section. Hygiene. This is something that I think a lot of people overlook when it comes to there are a lot of fitness coaches. Some are strictly strength coaches, so they work on that a few days a week. But if you don't have the 9 other characteristics or aspects, categories, whatever I should finalize on the naming there, you're not going to be living a healthy lifestyle, which is the goal at the end of the day. So you should be, at a minimum, also walking, ideally also adding in your mobility, definitely eating some quality food, if not most or all of it, tracking your calories, having an idea of what you're eating if you do want to maintain, improve your body composition, gain some muscle, lose some fat, etc. Hydration is key, not only for your physical being, but your mental state, and I would argue emotionally as well. Sleep, same thing there. Sunlight, passive recovery. These are all going to synergistically help each other out. It's not like, oh, I did a workout and now I'm good. Well, you're going to be doing or needing to do more workouts or something like that if you're not recovering right. Or I guess you're going to be wasting effort if you aren't optimizing the quality and quantity of your nutrition, things like hydration incorporated there. Same goes for your sleep, taking care of yourself with passive recovery, and your basic hygiene. So obviously, if you're being a bum and not taking care of your hygiene, you're going to have a 0. If you're taking care of the basic things, your things that you do hopefully without thinking at this point, then you can give yourself a 1. If you are at a spot where you're truly improving your level of hygiene, and I typically recommend, similar to the sunlight conversation, like natural things here. Like for me, if I use certain deodorants, I will break out in hives because my skin is very sensitive to these things that are foreign to my body or that are unnatural. So I try to use certain brands and find things that work for me there. But it also comes down to, your teeth and I guess dental hygiene, stuff like that. The way that you take care of your skin, your hair, your face. I would even argue the things that you clean with. If you are exposing yourself to a lot of different chemicals, it's going to mess with your hormones. I'll kind of leave it at that. I could go even further down to the path when it comes to things like EMFs or synthetic clothing, but I'm not going to get that woo-woo on you guys. I think if you're taking care of these things, you're going to be 99% of the way there when it comes to optimizing your health, your vitality, maximizing internal value. So let's take a look. If you couldn't tell already, I broke things down. So basically day one, or Monday in this example, I put a 0 across the board. So I put the total out of 30 possible, because you have 10 categories and 3 points possible for each, 0 to 3. So Monday, somebody got a 0. Tuesday, they did one out of 3 for each, giving them 10 across the board. As you can see, 33%. Wednesday moved on to 20 out of 30, giving 66.7%. And then Thursday, absolutely crushing it, getting 3 out of 3 on everything. Realistically, that could be pretty difficult for most people. I would argue that it would be very hard unless you have low standards for what a 3 is. Then, you might need to up that over time, but that's part of the game, right? So to me, this is more of like an infinite game, because it's like, all right, I have a goal, I hit my goal. But I like this because, it's not like what is my all-time greatest bench press, because to me, like even for me, that was like years ago, right? But if I say, what is my estimated 1 rep max based on, and this is an analogy based not on this directly, but like to me, you should have goals that are adapting to your current week or your current month, right? So if I say, what is my estimated 1 rep max or my 1 rep max for this month or this quarter, then I'll know and I'll have something to aim for, each month or something like that. Or do I say, let's see if I can give an example. I want to increase my hygiene level from last week to this week by 10%, right? So instead of being it would be bad if I was at 33, but you really never know until you track. Say I want to go from 65 to 75% on hygiene or hydration or whatever it is, right? I would just know that I need to score a little bit higher on each day. I need to get more 3s, less 2s, more 2s, less 1s, more 1s, less 0s, right? Or just, more 3s is probably the best way to put it. So having that in mind and going from week to week, seeing how I can progress, turns it into a little bit of a game. And it's like fun to go back and actually, you want to track these things because you have an idea that you're seeing progress, and also it's tied to your actions and not outcomes, right? So I didn't say, how many PRs did I hit this week? I said, how many workouts did I give my all on? How many workouts did I show up and do what I said I was going to do, give my best effort and probably push my limits in these cases to score it. I think that's really all it is on that, right? Same for mobility. Did I show up? All right. Yes, I showed up. I give myself a 1. That's the base level. Did I improve in some capacity? Yeah, I really opened up my chest and gave myself, opened up my chest and shoulders in this yoga and myofascial release session. Cool. 2, not only did I do that, but I opened up my hips in a new way that I think I'm going to use for the future. But it really benefited me today because I felt lighter on my feet and reduced the pain in my low back. Boom, 3. You know what I mean? So having those kind of experiences, and you can aim for them each day, and they don't take a lot of time. Hydration could take, a couple minutes, or it's just very, very small habits that build up and give you a lot higher of a score over time. And I think you'll notice if your workout is stuck at a 1, but your nutrition, quality, quantity, hydration, or your recovery, sleep, sunlight, and passive recovery are improving, Lord knows that chances are your workout is going to be way better just by habit of not only holding yourself to a higher standard, but like I said earlier, the synergistic effect of these things. So if you're fueling your body with high quality food and drinks, if you are getting amazing sleep, taking care of or getting some sunlight, and prioritizing passive recovery and your hygiene, then chances are your workouts are going to improve by twice as much or even tenfold, believe me. It all depends where you're at, but I think this is adjustable to anybody in their current situation. Like if you're currently a finance dork and you don't go to the gym, cool. Use this and you can improve. If you are a professional athlete, cool. Go for a walk, get your workout or training done, and improve your mobility. Take care of your physical therapy, whatever it is. Eat high quality and quantity of food. It's going to help you mentally and physically and in other areas. Take care of your hydration. Everyone's going to be different there, what they need, but I think crushing a gallon a day is probably going to be a good idea. I think you'll know when you're hitting a 1 or a 0, and you'll probably know whether you're hitting a 2 or 3. If you want to give yourself a good mark, probably over a gallon a day is going to be pretty higher level or higher score. And like I said, add some, I do pink Himalayan salt and some lemon ideally, but that's that. Yeah, not too much else. Let me see. I think as you can see, it's really more important to have consistency across the board. Like this person was crushing some threes, but 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 3, and a 1. But they had the same score here as as the person that is doing just a 1 across the board. And those 1s are probably a lot more easily achieved. Like hydration, 1. Did you drink some water today? Cool. You got a decent base. Yeah. Sleep. Did you get a couple hours? Cool. You're good. Move on. Build. I would say like 6+ hours of decent quality, and peak 7.5 to 9 hours of high quality sleep where you prepped ahead of time, etc. And also, I'm not a big advocate of like relying on things. Like you shouldn't be relying on stuff to fall asleep or stuff to have energy or things like that, right? The body and mind are extremely powerful and will adapt to a lot of things on their own. So don't be too reliant on others for your energy, strength, confidence, etc. All right, but yeah, with that said, this is the Maximizing Internal Value Vitality Matrix example. If you want to learn more about this or not sure how to set it up on your own, I could possibly share this with a few people. I think I would do like 10 people max, but if you want to send me a message, I'm sure I could send this over to you because I just created this. Or I do use something like this myself, but it's obviously not on the sheet that I'm going to share with you. I have a lot of other things that I track, but this can be most definitely helpful. Give yourself a week on it. It will definitely improve your life. And what you want to do is do this more than 1 week, and that way you can track and try to improve. So say for example your sleep score was a 33. You had an average of a 1 for sleep score because you pulled three all-nighters and had dismal sleep 2 nights, got decent sleep on 1 night, and had a great night of rest on Thursday. Also, I would recommend, like, you can do some tracking the day of, but you're gonna wrap up your score the next day because, like, I'm not gonna pull out my laptop or my phone at the end of a night because I'm trying to avoid screens also, and I don't know what my sleep score is until the next day. All right, with that in mind, I think that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully we can connect soon. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Feel free to connect with me or message me on LinkedIn. I'll get back to you on both of those. If you have my number, feel free to reach out. If not, don't reach out via text. But yeah, drop a like. Make sure you guys subscribe to this. Let me know any comments, or if you want to shoot me a message for other ideas or stuff that you're working through. Open to any questions you may have. Let me know what I can do to help you out. Hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to you in the next video.